And now we have our interrogatives for simple present. So in yes and no questions, we use the same auxiliary, do and does. Do for you, I, we, they, and does for she, he, and it. So do you work? So the answer is yes, I do. It is the same. Does she work? No, she doesn't. In our negative way, doesn't. Or yes, she does. And now for our WH questions, we have the WH question here, the word where is, and does, that's the auxiliary, she, that is the subject, and live, there is the verb or the rest of the question. So, where does she live? She lives in Heredia. That would be the answer. So, lives here has an S, but we don't have here an S, and it's because the auxiliary has the S here, so we don't have to put it in here. But when we do the answer, we have to put the S, because we don't have a does. And now we have the adverbs of frequency, and this, when we see it, and when we have to know when it's a simple present, we know it because it always have the adverbs of frequency. So it has always, never, often, rarely, sometimes, usually, occasionally, and normally. And this goes after the subject. So he often goes to the library, or you always run in the morning. So when we see this on a sentences, we know that we are using simple present when we see this. So he often goes here because of the verb when he, and you always run in the morning. Now for our fourth topic, we have simple past. We can use simple past when we said things that happened in past. So for the positive way, we use the verb to be. So I, she, he, and it with was. So I was at my home. Yo estuve en mi casa. You, they, and we use were. They were at the park. Ellos estuvieron en el parque. And now we have the regular verbs. The regular verbs, we just need to put some other words for making it in the past. But for irregular verbs, we need to learn a list of a lot of irregular verbs, like make, it's a verb in present, but in past is made. It completely changes. But for the regular verbs, there are verbs that ends in E, so we just need to add AD. So with agree, we just add ID, agreed. Now with verbs that ends in a vowel plus a consonant, we need to double the consonant and then add an ED. So for the verb is stop, there's a vowel and there's a consonant. So we need to double the consonant and put an ED, so stopped. Now for verbs that ends in consonant plus a Y, we need to add an IED. So, like in the verb try, it ends with Y, and before Y we have a consonant. So we need to take off the consonant and put an IED. So try, tried. Now with verbs that ends in L, we just need to double the L and add an ED. So equal, it ends in L, so we need to put equal it, equal it. And now we have our negative way, also in verb to be, like I, she, he, and it. Use was not or wasn't. So he wasn't here. Él no estuvo aquí. And with you, they, and we use were not with the contraction weren't. They weren't at the park. Ellos no estuvieron en el parque. And also we use did. So with I, you, she, he, it, they, and we can use did not or didn't. We didn't go to the beach. So go is an irregular verb. In past, we say go, went. In past, we say went. So we didn't go to the beach, but we don't change this verb because we already have this auxiliary, so we don't have to change the verb. And now we have interrogative ways for simple past, and we also have expressions for past tense. So for the interrogative way, we have yes and no questions, and we use did. So did she eat? And the answer would be yes, she did. But why we use eat without an S? Because we are using already the auxiliary did, so we don't need to change the verb. So did she eat? And the answer, yes, she did. And now for WH questions, we have where were you last night? So we need to use a WH word, would be where, why, what, and then we use the auxiliary. Where or was, it depends on the subject. So the subject is you, and the auxiliary has to be where. And then last night, that is the rest. So for the answer, I could use I was at my house. And now we have expressions for past tense. So for last, we can use last spring, last winter, last night, last spring, last month, last year, last week, last weekend, last summer, and last autumn. With last, that it means el pasado. And now with ago, we can use 10 minutes ago, an hour ago, 3 days ago, a week ago, a month ago, and a year ago. And now we have yesterday. Yesterday, we can use it just yesterday, or we can use it with yesterday morning, yesterday afternoon, or yesterday evening. And I can say, I was at my home yesterday evening, or I was in New York City last year, or I was eating an hour ago. And now for our last topic, we have count and non-countable nouns. So we have count here and non-count here. So count things are big things, things that we can count, and also things that we can say in plural form. So our quantified for count nouns are an or a, some, many, a few, and a lot of. So I can say a car, some fans, some cars, many people, and like that. In singular form, we can say a book or a car. In a plural form, we can say books and cars. We can make these subjects in a plural form, so we know that we can count them. And now for non-count, we have liquids, powders, and small things, things that we cannot count. And our quantifier is nothing, like this. We don't need nothing to quantify. Some, much, a little, and a lot of. We can say much money, some sugar, a little coffee, a lot of sand. And for singular, we have homework, but we cannot make it plural. So that's how we know homework, it's a non-countable noun, because we cannot make it plural. As money, we cannot say monies, so when it's not plural, we will know that it's a non-countable noun. And now we have the measurements with non-count nouns. So these are only used for non-count nouns. So we have a bag of rice. A bag is una bolsa. A bar of soap. A bar is una barra. A bottle of olive oil. A bottle is una botella. A bowl of cereal, and a bowl is una taza. A box of candy, and a box is una caja. A bunch of bananas, and a bunch es como una mano de bananas. A can of corn, and a can es una lata. A carton of milk, and a carton es un cartón o una caja de cartón. A glass of water, and a glass es un vaso de agua. A loaf of bread, o sea, a loaf es un pedazo o una rebanada. And a piece of cheese, a piece es un pedazo. And a tube of toothpaste, and a tube es un tubo de pasta de dientes. And that's all.